Falcons fans, what is going on? It is episode, Mike, is it 42, 43? Where are we at?
I have no
It's been like
idea,
a month,
buddy.
dude.
I'm
Like a
lost in the
month.
sauce. Huh?
It's been like a month.
It's been like a month. Hey,
Yeah.
man, before we even start this, I want to say I appreciate everybody who gave me well wishes for my father. It was a hard time, but y'all really helped me through it. I really appreciate all that. I read all that. It actually made me feel better to see what y'all were doing on Father's Day. So that really warmed my heart. So that really made me feel better. And man, shout out to Matt Savion, because I believe he had his daughter either the day before or on Father's Day or right after. And that's amazing. So that really made me, I mean, man, that single-handedly made my day. So I was not down that day. I just want to tell everybody thank you. I went to the funeral, man. I hosted the funeral, and it was like when, man, Kobe Bryant scored 81. I was at the peak of my skill set, and I sent my father off like you would not believe. I'm gonna leave it there, but I just know I was the master of ceremony, and I put on like a Michael Jordan type performance, and it was, my dad would have been proud. So I just want to say, before we even start, and the birthday wishes, it's been a long time. Thank you guys. I appreciate you guys. I read all of those. Y'all mean the world to me. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Yeah, that was awesome, man. Because if y'all haven't heard the episode where Mike shouted out his dad, man, I mean, before, I mean, like that was like I told you in the text, man. I can't even imagine what it would have been like. I mean, you know, in person. So, but yeah,
man, it was a difficult experience, but
no, trust me. Yeah. So
y'all helped me through it. I appreciate y'all.
Yeah, and did you see Savion's little girl in the onesie?
Dog, that shit made my day. Like that like that's what I'm telling you. Like, I really was dreading the day. Yeah. And then some told me, just don't get on Twitter, man. You're gonna see everybody. But it made me feel better to see what y'all was doing, and that y'all was with y'all kids having fun. It actually had the reverse effect. And the Savion picture alone, I looked at that shit for an hour. That's not an exaggeration. With tears in my eyes, it made me feel good.
Yeah, man.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It just made me want a kid. So shout out to Savion. I wanted to start the show with that.
Damn, thank you, guys. Does your girlfriend know that?
Oh, I'm not letting her know either. I could just be talking shit. I may be getting carried away. I'm not.
Oh, man. So, all right. Well, let me know if I'm going to be Uncle John so I can prepare.
Hey, there you go.
So, anyway, man, before we get into it too, man, we got a special guest today on the show. We've been trying to get him on for a bit, and we got him. He is one of the contributors to the new Millennium Falcon podcast.
Yes, did I hit it? Yep, that's the new name, New Millennium Falcon podcast.
That's right, man. It's Ronnie Nunn, and y'all know him as Fleek, probably on Twitter if you're on Falcons Twitter. So what's going on, man? How you doing?
I'm good. I really appreciate y'all for inviting me on, man. I've been listening for a long time on Apple Podcasts, so it's real cool to be here. It's real cool to see that sign live, because I've been looking at that Falcons logo. Like, and I even asked him before the show, like, where did you get it? Like, I need something like that.
That's right, man. Yeah.
It's so good to have you on, dog. You've been rocking since day one, dog. You've been with us. Fleek been rocking since day one, so it's awesome to have you on, bro.
Appreciate you, Mike. I really appreciate that, man.
Absolutely, man. Yeah, and Hex Head Art, man. Hex Head Art, if y'all are watching on YouTube, that's where you get that from. And if y'all are listening to Hex Head Art, go ahead and give me a shout. We will sponsor you anytime you need me to. All right, just give me a shout.
There you go.
Yeah. And also shout out to Pound for Pound, because those guys, Toby and JR, were nice enough to invite us on their live YouTube. Was it last week?
Last week.
Yeah, and man, we had a blast with those guys. Yeah. So if you get a chance, go subscribe to their YouTube, because they put out fantastic Falcons content. Pound for Pound ATL, and like I said, they had us on, and we sit there and talked about Falcons and other shenanigans for a good hour or so. So it was good. So we appreciate those guys having us on. And before we get into it as well, if you're listening to us for the first time, hey, look, you can follow us on Twitter at Out of Your Effing Mind. You can well, if you listen to us on Apple Live, like Apple Podcast, you can leave us a 5-star review. Just click 5 stars, write something. If you write something, we'll definitely shout you out on the show. Spotify, all you gotta do is click 5 stars. All that does is just help us get seen more, helps us move up the ladder of those Falcons podcasts, and just get out there more and have more people see us and listen to us. So, and we do put these shows on YouTube. We don't have near the production value that Pound for Pound has yet. We'll get there one day.
We getting there.
Yeah, we just doing mainly an audio type experience for you, but if you want to watch us on YouTube, you got that as well. So yeah, and then if you want to email us, sometimes we've gotten a lot of questions in the past, sometimes nothing to do with the Falcons whatsoever, which is fine. But that's atlfalconfancast@gmail.com. You can hit us up anytime. So Mike, anything to add to that before we move on?
No, just appreciate all the people that have been rocking for a long time, and happy to have one of them on the show. My man Ronnie finally on the show, man. I done got stuck in Colombia. It's been so much. I'm just so happy to be here today. I'm doing good, man. I got my radiator and all that. I'm ready to go.
Yeah, that's a beautiful thing.
So we were supposed to record a few days ago, but Mike's radiator decided to exit this world, and so he had to wait on another one. And he was stranded
in Columbus, Georgia.
Yeah.
So just picture that, But I'm gonna tell you one. I didn't get angry over it. I flowed with it, stayed positive, and it happened. It turned out all right.
No, yeah, So and so also on this podcast, we are of course Falcons driven, but we do talk about other Atlanta big sports stories that come up. We don't ignore that stuff. We're going to talk about it. Same thing with college. Fleek, you're a Hawks fan, man. You're a Braves fan, right? So
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
What did you think about the DeJounte Murray deal?
I was ecstatic. I ain't gonna lie, because there were rumors for about a week and a half. It felt like 2 weeks almost, where like people were tweeting out, all right, DeJounte Murray will probably be moved from San Antonio, and he was like retweeting it, like putting the eye emojis, and then rumors started swirling like, okay, they might pair him up with Trae Young. And I'm like, nah, they don't want to do that. Like the league don't want to see that. And as the week went on, I started losing hope closer and closer to when free agency started, because they do the little tampering thing behind the scenes, so things start getting leaked like the day before, and I didn't really see anything. And then I don't know, I was just at work. I checked my phone one day and boom, DeJounte Murray. I'm just excited because you now have somebody who can play on ball. Like, you have somebody who's a great defender.
Yep.
You have somebody who can be the primary ball handler sometimes, so that Trae doesn't have to always do everything by himself. And a lot of people question if Trae can play off ball, but I mean, his dad said if you go back and look at his Oklahoma stuff, he did that a lot and say he thrived in it. So his father is really excited to see it. And so am I, because I honestly believe that his potential can grow even higher than we've seen, because he's been stuck being the only true ball handler on the team. So I'm excited, man.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Yeah, I can't wait, dude. I mean, like, that was the Phillips Arena is going to be just.
I was just about to say that.
State Farm, whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to
be.
Yeah. I mean, it's going to be a hard ticket to get, man. And I mean, and we already had. I think we were the number 2 scoring team in the league. So defense, was our Achilles heel for most, because we'd score 120, we'd give up 120. You know what I mean? So I mean, I mean, getting him on defense will be huge, man. So we'll see what other. And I don't think they're done, man. I mean, we lost Gallinari, but I mean, I think the Spurs immediately released him, and then the Celtics just signed him. So, so we're going to see him a few times, of course, during the year. But
and also shout out Kayvon Herter, man.
Yeah,
I like Kevin. I do too. A lot.
That hurt a little bit. I was like, really, man? Does he got it? I mean, like,
yeah.
And I don't know. I mean, maybe he had plateaued. I don't know. I mean, like, it was, it is what it is. But yeah, I mean, I'm excited. I mean, all of a sudden our starting 5 is like legit. I mean,
it's going to be a ticket to see.
So
for real.
But hold on, before I move on from basketball, Fleek, Ja Morant said he could beat Michael Jordan one-on-one, man. And I'm gonna tell you, Ja Morant is my favorite player, but I was like, wait. Hold on now.
What wasn't that a fake?
What?
Wasn't that a fake?
Oh, please tell me it was. I hope it was.
So okay,
was it fake?
The reports came out that he said that, and then Taylor Rooks said that he never said that in the interview, but it was so believable because I could see Josh saying something. Wait, actually, you know what I'm just thinking though? No, that was real. I actually seen a video clip of that.
I believe it was real. Shannon Sharp and everybody was talking about it. Like,
I saw a video clip because he was explaining to her. He was like, basically, if you put my name next to anybody, I'm taking me regardless. That's what he was saying.
Okay.
So, It's crazy. He wouldn't
I
beat
love the
Michael Jordan in his
attitude.
prime in one-on-one. But I love the attitude. I was just about to say that. I love the attitude. Like, you got to take yourself over anybody. You got to think you're number one. So, I mean, I don't think he could have beat him
sell. To say you beat Mike one-on-one is like saying I beat God one-on-one. Like,
yeah.
You wild.
Yeah,
that's insane.
Yeah, there was something that was reported by Ballsack Sports that got they got like 2 or 3 ESPN reporters that like they went straight to their phones and were like, oh, blah blah blah, and it was total bullshit. Yeah. So
okay.
Yeah.
Ballsack Sports have caught for a few people like that.
Right? Yeah, they have. I'm like, why would you, if you saw Ballsack Sports, like I don't know that you would immediately.
I was just about to tell you that's a wild name.
That's an insane name to be believing as a source.
Yeah, exactly.
That's crazy.
Yeah. All right, good, y'all. You still my man.
Yeah. Anyway, all right. So, and quickly, buddy, on the Braves, man. Number one, we just lost the series to the Mets today, which sucked. But it's all right. We got 12 more games with them. That's all that matters. Just and they got a rough patch coming up. But dude, Freddie's return. I've never seen an athlete return to their previous city and have that type, just everything around it, the whole situation. I've never seen anything like it in my 40 years of being alive. I mean, it
was like, I don't want to call it a circus because I love Freddie. We all
me
love
too.
Freddie. I mean, like I always used to say like Freddie and Matt Ryan were like Atlanta staples for so long.
There you go.
But the return was it was so much stuff around it, man. So much smoke. I mean, the tears from Freddie. Obviously, he still feels like Atlanta is home, and it always will be home.
Mm-hmm.
But then the reports that came out later that said his representatives didn't tell him the final offer from the Braves. And then there came out a rebuttal to that. So it was just so much. I didn't know what to make of it. But, man, it still kind of feels weird seeing Freddie in a Dodgers jersey of all jerseys, of all uniforms. But I guess all good things must come to an end. And, man, it was just tough. It was a lot.
Yeah, I mean, I thought from the get-go, but I mean, number one, last season, I thought like, okay, he's still going to sign. Like, they're going to do their deal, but he's still going to sign at the end.
Yeah.
But I think what screwed it up bad was obviously the lockout. When they ended the lockout, they had like a week to get these deals done. So like it was all of a sudden, boom, 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 and I mean, obviously the communication was terrible between I mean, like and if it is true that I mean, it's just the timing of it is just crazy because
it's very, very wonky.
Very
wonky. I mean, it's just so tough because from the Braves perspective, like you said, you only had a week to get this stuff done, and if Freddie wasn't going to accept your offer to be back, and you could potentially grab a guy like Matt Olson, then you have to like make that move. I mean, it's a business, but it's just crazy.
Yeah, I mean, and what I mean, Mike, I don't know if you saw this or not, but like in his press conference before the game, his first game back in Atlanta, he walked up and had to walk back out because he was already crying. He was already like he sat there for 20 minutes, like literally damn near crying for 20 minutes while he was trying to answer questions because he'd been in the room with these people, the media members, for his entire career basically.
Yeah.
Because I mean he came out with the Braves, everything, from day one. I mean Chipper was his mentor, everything, like he was Atlanta, like Fleek said, like he was the face of Atlanta sports for the most part, him and Matt and now Trey, but
if that agent is the cause of you having to leave all that, you have to fire him.
I thought the same thing, and I thought, okay, if that was the case, like I would have fired your ass then
immediately.
Like you wouldn't, I wouldn't have, but I mean, the fact that it happened after the series in Atlanta, literally right after the series in Atlanta, it was like he changed his representation. And so that thought, well, I was like, well, man, maybe it was true that he didn't get the final offer to him in time,
right?
And I also heard that, his agent basically gave Anthopoulos, the Braves GM, an hour to accept their counter proposal. And he was like, screw y'all, and went ahead. He's like, I got Matt Olson over here. I'm going to go ahead and do this. I mean, like he got a job to do. So like Fleek said, he's got to go out, because if we don't get Matt and somebody else does, and Freddie signs with the Dodgers, we're screwed at first.
We're screwed. Yep. Yeah.
So I mean, it's just unfortunate the way it went down. But man, I mean,
so Freddie came back in blue. and Matty come back. Well, he don't play us, but he wearing blue too. Freddie and Matty in blue, man. They changed colors on us.
From red
I'm
to
a
blue.
lot. It's easier for me to see Matt Ryan in blue than it is for me to see Freddie Freeman in Dodgers.
I'm telling you, in a Dodgers uniform of all teams, man.
Did he play well?
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
he won a game. I think. I think he. I can't remember if he walked it off with like a base hit or something.
Now, the fans were cheering or booing?
Oh, standing ovation.
Oh, okay.
It was nice.
Yeah, standing ovation every night, and he was having issues like he got his
World
Series
at the plate.
Yeah,
he regretted. Damn, at the plate.
Yeah,
at the plate.
Oh, he regret that. He's probably sick to his stomach over it.
Yeah. Oh no, I'm 100% no, he is. Yeah, I got for 100. Like he wanted to be Atlanta for the rest of his career, and I still think he might come back. Like at the end of his career, now that the NL has the DH. I mean, you know, you don't see guys like, hell, Robbie Cano. I mean, like we just signed him. He's 39 years old. He can still hit. Like, I mean, you know, you don't see guys that can hit throughout their career and all of a sudden just fall off a cliff, you know, I mean, eventually do. But I mean, like Chipper was hitting when he was 40 years old, you know, so like at the end of his contract, I think Freddie will be, you know, 36, 37, something like that. So I guarantee you, man, if he's able to do it, he'll come back here for the last year or two of his career.
I got a doozy for y'all. If you can only pick one and to come back at the end of their career, Freddie or Julio?
Okay. See, that's interesting because I thought she was about to say Freddie and Matt Ryan, but I had Julio.
Oh, that's nice. Okay.
I had Julio's name in the back of my mind, right? Because I put on Twitter the other day, because there was like a little rumor flying around that Julio would end up with Atlanta again, or I think it was Baltimore
Green Bay
or something. Green Bay. That's the team.
Yeah.
And, you know, I seen a lot of Falcons fans like, nah, I don't want Julio back. Like, I don't need that. Whatever, bro's gone. But my whole thing was with a rookie in Drake London and a young stud in Kyle Pitts, like, a guy like Julio, who is, to me, it's not even an argument, one of the greatest wide receivers of all time.
Yes.
And I say that confidently.
Yeah, like
one of the
top
greatest.
three.
I'm talking about top three.
Top three of all time.
Because if you're telling me he's not, you got to tell me the other names. You know what I mean? So it's like to have a legend in your wide receiver room would be crazy. It would be crazy. Like, but Freddie, though, at the end of his career, if he can still hit.
So you got to pick one, Fleek. Who you bringing back to the city? Go set the city on fire in the end of their career.
I'm gonna choose Julio.
Oh, Julio 11. John
11.
looked like Freeman. He looking like Freddie. I'm telling you.
I think John would choose Freddie though.
Man, like it sucks because you can see the benefit of both. Like you can see the benefit of Julio helping out this young core, like Fleek just said.
Okay.
Like having a guy like that in the room, like damn, as long as it's not, you know, you're not breaking the bank for him, which I don't think you would at this point in his career anyway.
Yeah.
But that's tough. But yeah, I mean, you know, if Freddie's still productive, I'd take Freddie back.
yeah.
I know my man so well. I can read his every thought.
Just because, I mean, you know, if he can still hit, and you know, and then you got a DH, and we needed, I mean, then yeah, sure. I mean, you can, you know, I'll take Freddie back for sure. I mean, because yeah.
And that's the thing, like in the field of play, I think Freddie could probably give you more. I'm not saying Julio's washed, but I mean, his body's been beat up. I mean, he's had a hamstring problem for feels like 7 years now. Yeah. So it's like, I feel like Freddie could give you more infield, like, for sure.
Yeah. I mean, first base, you don't exactly get beat up a lot at first base. So, I mean, that's, you know, you can extend your career there pretty well. But
that was a great question, Mike, for real.
Man,
that's crazy.
This is what we do. I just come over.
See, I spend time thinking of shit. He just comes up with stuff off his head.
It's chaos.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah. That is funny.
All right, man. So, Mike, I told you like this year you got to get on with college football, right? So,
yes.
And we're expanding again. So UCLA and USC just joined the Big Ten. So to me, man, and Fleek, you can let me know what you think about this. I think we're on the road to basically the NFL minor league system. If you got a conference A and conference B, and they're gonna go at each other, and everybody else is just, you know, kind of screwed.
Yeah, I agree. I agree because if you look at the way other teams are reacting to all of these moves, everybody's scrambling. People are putting in bids to get into the SEC. people are putting in bids to move. You know, I'm interested to see what's going to happen to like conferences like the Pac-12. Like,
yeah,
they're falling apart. Like, if Oregon were to leave, where do you go from there as Pac-12? But that's why I think eventually we're going to end up with like two huge conferences, like you said, and end up like the championship game. But it's just so tough because would they have to add more games? What would the realignment be like? There's so much that you have to account for because there are so many college teams.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know how it will work, but I'm down. I'm down for it.
Yeah, I mean the NIL. It seems like the NIL just set in motion. Like, I mean, the expansion was already happening, but then you throw the NIL on top of it. So now you've got basically players that can be millionaires before they ever enter the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like it just exploded. I mean, it's just like wild west now. Like you said, there's
in a decade, it's going to be a different thing. The whole thing will be different in a decade. You mark my word. The entire thing will be different. I'm gonna tell you what it'll be. It'll be like how you said, minor league. It'll be minor league football, professional minor league football in 10 years. Watch it.
I mean, if I get the ACC, man, like watch the SEC if they haven't already. Contact Clemson, contact Florida State. Because if those two teams leave, or even Miami, then that conference is gone.
Yeah, the ACC falls. It's so crazy. And then, like you said, with the NILs, like you got situations where players are following coaches already. Mm-hmm. I mean, I know that was already a thing, but including that NIL money, like look at Caleb Williams. Lincoln Riley goes to USC. Caleb Williams like, all right, coach, I'm following you, and I'm in Cali, and I'm about to be making millions of dollars before I even touch an NFL field. So it's like, 10 years, like you said, Mike, is going to be a whole different thing.
Whole nother thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you know, almighty dollar is going to drive it. So I mean, whatever.
Oh, it's going to be $1 billion almost thing. Watch, I guarantee you.
Yeah,
it'll be like a league. It'll be a big thing.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm glad that I was all for the image and likeness thing because I mean, for years, you got schools selling jerseys with the kid's number on it, and they're not seeing a penny of it. Of course, right. I mean, they're getting their scholarship paid for, and that's great. But I mean, like we're talking about millions of dollars these schools are making. So I mean, I'm glad they changed it, but like there's not really a way to police it. I mean, it's like
it's going to take some time.
Yeah, there's how do you police? I mean, you can't really police that. I mean, like under the table money's been going on forever anyway.
For so long.
So now you just basically made it like,
made it legal.
Pretty much legal. So it's all good. But yeah, it should be interesting, man. But so in the division there is a trade. Baker Mayfield coming to the Panthers.
Baker, the patty cake man. Hey, how y'all feel about that? I don't know how I feel about it. I'm not really a fan. I think he's kind of wild, but it should be entertaining for the Falcons to just play him.
That's about right, yeah.
I'm going to laugh because I'm not the biggest fan of Baker Mayfield myself, right, as a player. But, I mean, even like I think the Carolina Panthers GM came out and was like, this is still an open competition. So I don't even know that they know that Baker is going to be the week 1 starter. Because if
how bad would that be?
Oh man,
right? That would be disgusting.
Yeah,
I would just leave.
He'll start popping pills
for real.
He'll start wilding. I'm telling you, if he get back, he gonna start wilding because he already wild. And then now you take away his having to be game ready. Baker Mayfield will go off the rails.
Because he's already been saying stuff like he can't wait for the week 1 matchup versus Cleveland, and he doesn't even know if he's gonna be a starter. If you playing, like. It's just crazy, man. Carolina's in a tough position because Matt Rule, I think it's do or die for him right now. Like,
Me too. Yeah.
I mean, they got rid of Joe Brady last year, hired a new offensive coordinator, but this is it. So if he wants to, that's what's going to make the battle intriguing too, because whoever he chooses, Baker, Matt Corral, if he would try to run it back with Sam again, he's hitching his wagon to this quarterback. Like this is your NFL coaching career right now.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And
his first name is Baker. That should probably don't put everything on that.
And he could be, I mean, and you're right. I mean, and if he makes the wrong decision, he may be gone by week 8.
Yeah.
Because that's the territory he's in. That seat is as hot as it gets right now.
He looked desperate. That's probably why he did it. He's trying to save his job.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Yep.
makes sense. Yeah. So we'll see how that pans out. Like you said, Mike, it's gonna be entertaining if nothing else. I mean, it's gonna provide some nice value for us. Another cool piece of news, man, the Raiders made history making Sandra Douglas the first Black female president in the NFL.
I love it.
Thought that was
That's
pretty damn awesome.
I love it.
That is awesome.
There's one thing to talk shit, like you all inclusive, but it's another thing to actually put somebody in place who can do something. That was awesome.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it's a female and she Black. That's
right, man. We're moving forward. It's good to see. Like, even as like just the NFL itself. I mean, as a world, we're moving forward, but to see a huge company, a huge business, a huge brand like the NFL, like you said, Mike, not only talk about it, but be about it. You got people moving up now, Black people, women. I mean, I remember I was excited when the first woman referee.
Yeah, in football, I was gonna say. In football. So that's something that is women in football. That's dope.
Yeah, it's amazing, man. I'm just glad to see we're moving forward and not just sticking to the old ways, because that's how eventually you're gonna make more money that way as well. If you're the
you will.
Like, come on,
all the pink jerseys is for that. Trust me.
Exactly.
You know, they say cancer, but all them pink little items is billions of dollars, man.
It's a reason. It's a reason. But I'm happy to see it. I really am.
I love it.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's gonna, spark some other teams, and to just, because you can't tell me that she's the first qualified one to come along.
No, right. Yep.
Right.
You know
and especially if she kill it.
Right.
If she kill it, you gotta give her props.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just want to give them a shout out to the Raiders for that. And then, man, so Mike, we reported on it our last show. Marion Barber passed away, but nobody knew what he had passed away from. Well, it came out, man, it was a freaking heat stroke, man.
Wow.
So apparently they found him, or they found like his wherever his house apartment, wherever, the thermostat was set like on 90 or 91, and he was exercising and just like, and he did make it. I mean, and like, let me tell you guys, if y'all are out there doing this, like if it's 100 degrees outside, like, do not be wearing those freaking jumpsuits and running around. Like, it's not going to make you lose weight any
John went to school for this shit. It's not just somebody's opinion. Now I'm telling you, he went to school. Now pay attention. Continue,
these are facts.
No, he know what he's talking about. So listen to him.
But no, I'm serious. Like, I mean, because look, I mean, heat stroke's a serious thing. Marion Barber is a young guy. He's in shape. Like, it's not like, so if you are getting in shape or in the process of getting in shape, that's not something you want to mess with, man. Like, especially during the summer months or really anytime. But like, I'll see at the gym sometimes, and I just, you don't want to, that's not my position to say anything, of course, but I mean, like, it's not, if your goal is to lose weight, then just work out.
Yeah.
Just work out, like regularly work out,
and change your diet,
do your cardio and change, and eat right. That then the way it's going to come off, I promise you, wearing that suit for however long is not going to, you're going to sweat your ass off, but and you're going to lose some water weight, but it's not going to make any difference to you health wise. In fact, it's going to probably be the other, it's going to give you, it's going to be a detriment to you than actually help you out. So, it's just a sad thing, man. Cause that was didn't have to happen, like,
right. Yeah.
But shout out to Marion Barber, man. He was an animal.
Sucks.
For real.
All right, man. So enough of the sports news. We're gonna get into some Falcon stuff now. And Fleek, man.
Okay.
We're gonna hit you with some questions.
Oh, I got
okay, cool. Let's go.
Because we're gonna start doing this with the guests we have on. Because like I said, we just want to kind of get an idea of, just the Falcons fandom and how it all started. So, man, what age did you become a Falcons fan?
3.
What?
And when people ask me that, they're like, how do you even remember that? But I remember the game. It was the infamous Falcons versus Vikings, where Vic walked it off after he blazed down the field through the whole team. And I vividly remember sitting on my couch watching that with my dad. And I remember everybody was so excited. And I just remember thinking, okay, this is good. Like, this is what it is. And every Sunday after that, I was watching the Falcons. And there was a lot of pain that followed that. But that itself was a good day. So that's what really made me a fan.
I love it. Early on, buddy. I love it.
Yeah.
Thank you for making me feel old on that one.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah, man. So, Mike, you got one?
What?
You got one for Fleek question?
Oh, I got something I can go off. Hey, who do you think is the greatest Atlanta Falcon of all time? You had to pick one. And it could be in any era. Greatest Atlanta Falcon.
I actually tweeted this the other day. I got a lot of heat because I said that Julio Jones was the greatest Falcon of all time.
That can be argued. It can be argued, but hold on. Argue your case. Go.
My thing is, Julio Jones is one of the greatest wide receivers of all time, as I said earlier, right? My other person was Deion Sanders, but I argue that Julio was with the team for so long. Mm-hmm. He gave us consistency for 10 plus years. Mm-hmm. And I mean, he ranks up there. I know everybody wanted me to say Matt Ryan on Twitter.
Okay.
Because that's what they were arguing me. And Matt Ryan is an all-time great.
Yeah.
But I feel like Julio ranks higher at his position all time than Matt.
No, I agree. And I will say this. It had to be between those three. I was just what, but I would say this because I know what I think Fleek want to say, so I'm gonna just say it for him. I believe, in my opinion, that Julio Jones is tied with or just under Jerry Rice as being the greatest wide receiver to play the game of football. When Julio was at his peak, his skill set, Julio was unstoppable. I will tell this story again and again. They put like 12 cornerbacks, the top 12 cornerbacks in a room on Sports Center one day. And they asked them all, who's the toughest wide receiver to cover? In unison, Julio. They can't do nothing with him. Stronger, faster, bigger. But I can never diss Jerry Rice. I got to see that in person. I can't do that.
You got to see Jerry Rice in person?
No, not in person, but like I was alive when he was playing.
Oh, yeah.
I can't, and I saw Jerry Rice didn't drop no passes. And Jerry Rice didn't. So Jerry Rice was the standard, but Julio is damn near right there or under. That's why I wish he was healthy, because we never know what it could have been.
Man,
that's what I'm saying.
They didn't make receivers like that when Jerry Rice played.
No way.
They didn't.
Jerry Rice was little.
Yeah, no, dude. I mean, I've said on the show before, man. Like being an Alabama fan and Fleek, you too, being an Alabama fan when Julio was a freshman at Alabama. I mean, like he was just different.
He was a beast.
I saw him, like I said, and then Chris hates it against against LSU, but took a screen pass, and I swear, man, looked like everybody was standing still. Mm-hmm. I mean, like he went down the sideline. You're just like, what? Like, you were basically watching like an overgrown strong safety.
Yes.
Like, just haul down the field. Like
a guy that big shouldn't move that fast.
But it looked like a horse was loose. Every time he take off, it looked like a wild horse done got in the stadium and got loose. And you don't want to get in front of it. So
I agree with you.
You all know I'm gonna say Matt Ryan, but for 100 reasons I could go into, but I don't have to. You can play any previous episode, and you'll hear.
Yeah, you'll find every one of those reasons actually.
Man, I'm out of my fucking mind.
Yeah. So who was your first like favorite player, and is he still your all-time favorite player, or did that change as you got older?
First favorite player as on the Falcons?
That's on the Falcons,
Michael Vick.
Yeah.
Michael Vick. He's no longer my favorite. Julio's my favorite Falcon of all time. But Michael Vick was my favorite player. Like, he was just so electrifying.
Oh, man.
And me being so young at the time, I just wanted to see fun anyway. So watching him run around was fun. Even before I realized how difficult what he was doing at the time was, because everybody couldn't do that. I didn't know that at the time. But I just knew that this one guy who wore number 7 for my team could make every other team look dumb. Make every other team look crazy on the field. So he was my first favorite.
Yeah, dude. No, before, like, I can tell you, man, like, and Mike can attest to it too. Before him, I mean, there was like Cordell Stewart, and I mean, like, Warren Moon, and like he really wasn't even a running quarterback. He was just, he was a pocket guy. He didn't, but I mean, like, Mike Vick he
changed the game.
You've never seen anything like it.
No.
Like, you never. Like, it's like there's not a guy like an athlete like this that can throw like just flick his wrist and the ball go 80 yards.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Like,
I didn't even mention the arm strength.
Yeah.
Without studying really and really focusing itself, putting forth that, like, this was natural talent.
Yes.
Right. Doesn't that make you wonder what could have been?
I always do it.
All the time. all the time. Like if he and he knows it, he said it. Like, if he would have just committed himself and studied.
I look at Robert Griffin like that.
Me too.
I just wanted you to study the playbook and run out of bounds.
Yeah,
if you learn how to slide and run out of bounds and study,
Shanahan ruined that dude's career, man.
Yeah, he was running. Yeah. I mean, like, dog, the dude he could do it. He was like Michael Vick. He was exciting like that.
Yeah, he was supposed to be like Vic too. Yeah, basically.
Yeah, man. You never know.
Yeah, and that's why he was one of my first favorite college quarterbacks. RG3 was, and I remember when the whole big thing of him and Luck were 1 and 2. I mean, the Colts even said if Luck wasn't available and they had slipped into that 2 spot, they were taking RG3. That's how good RG3 was coming out of college.
He'd probably still be playing if they didn't.
Yep.
That's yeah. You're probably right. Yeah. So I already know what your lowest point as a Falcons fan is because I'm not going to bring it up.
Can I tell you the story behind that though?
Yeah, let's do it.
So
I had enough pain for a month, man. What is going on, man? Y'all want to relive a murder?
I have such a unique story.
Come on, man. Let's hear it.
I gotta hear it.
So I'm from Atlanta. At the time I lived in Atlanta. I live in Austell now. I live in Cobb County, but I was in the heart of the city at the time. But so I make music, right? So at the time, me and my friend, we had a song that did pretty well in the high school. So I entered it into a contest for a Super Bowl weekend, showcase, basically. Okay. The showcase was in Houston, Texas.
Wow.
Where the Super Bowl was.
Okay.
So I entered it, didn't expect to win, but we won. And so we got a chance to go to Houston, Texas. So my mom, my dad, my best friend who I made the song with at the time, me, my cousins, we all got in a van and we drove to Houston, Texas. And we had family friends out there. So we spent the night at their house. So I was in Houston, Texas for the Super Bowl. So
that's dope.
It was amazing. I got to go to Lucas Oil Stadium before, I think it was the day before or 2 days before. I couldn't go inside, but just even the stuff they had outside, man, it was just amazing to be in that atmosphere. That was the first time I ever been around a Super Bowl.
Oh, yeah.
So anyway, fast forward to that crazy day. I'm at a Patriots fan's house. Patriots decked out everything. The entire first half. I'm talking crazy. Crazy. That Robert Alford pick 6, I was out of my Falcon mind for real. I was going crazy. And I'm talking crap. I'm like, this is the dynasty. This is New England. Are you sure? And I ended up having to leave to head to the showcase at halftime. So I got out of there just in time.
Yes, you did.
I left, and I'm so glad I did, because if I had stayed
they would have dragged you.
Oh my! I wouldn't have made it
all that
out.
You was talking.
I wouldn't have made it out. So I'm sitting there, and I'm sitting there at the bar as a 17-year-old at the time. So I wasn't drinking anything, but I'm sitting there at the bar because I'm looking at the game, and it was just going downhill. And as a Falcon fan, I had seen this before. I had not 28-3, right, but I had seen us have 14-point, 17-point leads, and it dwindle away in 9 minutes. I've seen this happen. And so as I'm sitting there, I'm just getting more nervous. And then when overtime happened, when the Devontae Freeman missed block happened, I kind of was like,
that's John's.
Okay. I was like, okay, this is really about to happen. And then the coin flip happened. The Patriots won the toss. And I was like, okay. I'm bracing myself. And as soon as James White crossed the end zone, crossed the goal line and scored a touchdown, and I realized what had just happened, I kid you not, 1 minute later, I got called to go perform on stage.
Damn, that's crazy.
Wow.
Do you know I had to fight for my life just to perform that song?
I couldn't have done it, man.
I was mad, sad, hurt, broken. I was.
They'd have thought I was Adele. I would have been up there whining and crying. I'd have sang an Adele song. I'd have went totally off script.
And it's so crazy. For real. That's how I was feeling, Mike. I was feeling like I was lost. I wasn't at home because I wanted nothing more than to just lay down. Yeah. I just wanted to lay down, go to sleep, and forget it ever happened. I don't even remember how I did. I don't remember the performance at all. I remember going up there, fulfilling my obligation, getting in the car and saying, I don't want to talk about it. That's it.
Yeah, man.
That's it.
The worst part of that story was you were 17 and you had to watch it sober.
That's right.
You couldn't even drug yourself with the.
I couldn't even get lit.
Yeah.
I was just sitting there taking everything in. And all I remember was 2 weeks before, I was having the time of my life because we was spanking the Packers. I was having the time of my life. I was like, oh my gosh, we're going to the Super Bowl. And then they gave me that hope. And then 28-3, then a collapse. So
yeah, man. Mike texted me after they offered touchdown, and he was like, "Man, we're doing it. We're doing it." And I'm sitting there going crazy. My son was like 5-6 years old at the time. Like I've told the story before, but yeah, man. I mean, he went to bed at halftime because he was young, so he was and I was like, it's just like, man, I think you're good. You can go and go to bed. And then he woke up the next morning. And he was like, "What was the final?" And I was like, I mean, I didn't even want to tell him, and I was like, "We lost." And I looking at his face, he was just like. He thought I was joking. He was like, "What?" And he literally cried. Like I felt like a terrible dad. I'm like, I just need to I'm going to have you come home. We're going to go through these different mascots, and whatever one you like the best, you can be a fan of that team. Like, that's what I felt like doing. Like, you know what I mean? Because I was like, man, I felt so bad for him. So yeah, that was just. Imagine
going to school the next day. I went to school the next day, and in my high school, there was like 10% Falcons fans. Everybody else was fans of everybody else. And they used to always tell me how trash we were. And when I got to school the next day, I didn't talk to nobody. I didn't talk to anybody.
Yeah. No, I didn't. Any of my buddies that were fans, I didn't answer their phone calls. Same way. I mean, it was for I was. And the one of my buddies texted me, and he was like, "Is it too soon?" I'm like, "Yes, it's too. It's going to be too soon for quite a while. Like, just leave me the hell alone."
Falcon fans.
I'll call you.
I'm gonna tell you, it's hard to be a Falcon fan because you are one of the few groups where this is a very serious thing. I'm not even. People will really ask you why. Like, you be like, I'm a Falcon. They'd be like, why are you? Like, if people in Georgia be like, they trash.
In Georgia.
They'd be like, why would you ever be a fan? They in Georgia. People from Georgia do that.
That's crazy.
So all the Falcon fans, I love y'all because y'all done had to defend us when it was nothing to defend, and you did it anyway. So I love you.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Big props to y'all. But I think you're about to ask, outside of that, what was the lowest point as a Falcons fan?
As a Falcon fan.
Yeah, that and the highest point. Yeah, so both of those.
Lowest point was second lowest point. And I was just talking about this the other day. Do y'all remember when Julio dropped that wide open touchdown versus Carolina?
Yeah.
That was peak. Oh my goodness. Like, I've never, because the ball was in the air, it floated, camera pans, Julio, 15 yards of separation. I'm like, we won.
Yep.
We won. That's it. Because I believe it was the fourth quarter with like 2 minutes left or something.
It was late in the game.
It was late in the game. And the ball just bounced, and then he was falling, and he went for it again, and it just dropped.
Yeah, that all happened in slow motion.
Yeah,
that was terrible.
That was more so shock than anything.
Mm-hmm.
That was shock. But the highest point for me was probably that Packers game, the NFC Championship game.
Everybody said,
Oh my goodness. Because going into that game after beating Seattle, I'm like, okay, I believe in us, but that's Aaron Rodgers, and I don't know. I just felt like this could be it. But when we got out, we came out hot. I think we got up 21-0 on them.
Yeah, man. Vic was hitting Aaron Rodgers.
Yep.
I mean, like, I saw a unicorn outside. It was crazy.
My God.
Right.
I'm like, oh my goodness, that was the highest point because at halftime, I'm like, we're going to the Super Bowl. That's all I kept thinking. And then after halftime, I believe, was it after halftime when Julio put off that crazy touchdown?
Yep.
I think it was because that took it to like 28 or 34-6. It was something crazy like that.
Yeah.
I just remember just thinking like, I didn't even know if I would ever see a Super Bowl in my lifetime because the Super Bowl before that, I wasn't even born yet.
Right.
Yeah.
So I remember
nobody even we didn't think that was going to be a possibility going into that season. I mean, like we were like, and all of a sudden 14-2 came out. We're like, wow. But then nobody thought we were going to beat Denver. Like,
no.
Like, and
really?
It was
just like, oh, well, we made it. That's really nice. We made it. This is cool. We're gonna go down there and get our heads blown in by John Elway and company, and
that's
then
tough. I forgot John Elway was on it.
Yeah,
That's
man.
crazy.
And then the night before, freaking Eugene Robinson goes out with some hookers, and it
I
just
saw
stays
that.
out all night. And so it was just
The
So
most Falcon
That's
thing
crazy.
it
Yeah.
really is.
The
That
most
is
Falcon,
crazy.
It really is, man. Like,
But yeah, that was such a mega high point because I just remember every year thinking, man, we're never going to get to the Super Bowl. And then like in that moment, I just realized that at least once in my life, I was going to see my favorite team in the Super Bowl, and that was awesome. That was amazing.
So I got one for you. I got a good one for you.
Yeah.
You got to pick one player, past or present. Okay.
Okay.
This player you can get for 1 year. Okay. And you're going to get them at the peak of their talents. So whoever your Falcon is, you get them for 1 year at the best they've ever been. And you can only bring them back next year to help this specific roster, this specific team. Who do you bring back only for 1 year at the peak of their talent?
Deion Sanders. Deion Sanders and AJ Terrell would be insane.
Oh, I didn't even think about that. That's awesome. Yeah.
That would be insane. I think our defense would be crazy.
Yeah. Deion Sanders and AJ Terrell.
Where do you throw?
Where do you throw?
Because you're not throwing the Deion.
No,
so you got to throw the AJ, and that's a bad idea.
That's it. Yeah. That ain't happening. Especially if AJ gets to see everybody's number 2 at all times.
Oh man.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That would be elite. That's probably who I would say. It would if it wasn't Deion, it would be Julio again, just because Julio was so dominant.
Hey, he love Julio. Fleek gonna
I
say
love Julio.
You know,
man.
mine is Matt Ryan. Anything you ask him to say Matt Ryan. Anything you say, he gonna say Julio Jones.
I promise you.
Yeah.
That's why it hurt me so bad, man, when that whole thing fell apart and he went on Skip and Shannon Undisputed. Man, that joint just hurt because I was like, man, this is my favorite Falcon ever. So I let off some tweets that day out of anger and pain. But nah, I love Julio. That's my guy.
How about that Patriots catching the Super Bowl when he was on the sideline?
Oh my gosh.
Right. That's one of the he was literally sideways.
That angers me so much because that should be a catch that everybody remembers.
Yeah, everybody remembers.
For the catch, that should be remembered for sealing us the freaking game.
Yep.
I thought it did like I was saying as I'm watching this dwindle away. And then that happened. I said, oh, he saved us. I'm thinking Matt and Julio just saved us. We're still going to win the Super Bowl.
Yeah. Now we just got to run the ball, kick a field goal, call today.
And it's over. Yep.
Sounds simple enough.
Unless you the Falcons.
Dude,
crazy.
I have not watched the game back. Like,
no, I still haven't.
I've never watched it again. Like, and I can't, and I won't. But my son watched it. Because he wanted to see the second half, but he didn't watch it till he was like 8 years old.
Okay. Yeah,
I promise. I'm not lying to you. He came to me afterwards and he said, "Why didn't they run the ball?"
Really?
A child,
an 8-year-old man, an 8-year-old said, "Why didn't they?" Because he knew that he knows the game enough where he knows running the ball stops the clock, or it doesn't stop the
running
clock.
The timeout.
And and he knew that he could do math, so like like it just made sense to him, like. And I just I just smiled at him because I got instantly angry, but I smiled at him. I was like, dude, I don't know, man. Like
I forget the dude name, Pete Carroll, when he was on that goal line and you got Marshawn Lynch and you throw a ball.
Oh my goodness,
Young, I be wanting them to have to answer that question for 9 more months.
Yeah,
I mean, Young, you should have to explain your line of thinking. And the Kyle Shanahan, I disliked him so much. Then the only reason why is I felt like he never was accountable to explain your line of thought. We want to hear. I want to hear. He just got on the plane and went to his new job. I was so pissed. I want to hear your line of thinking. If it just looked like you took a bet or you had a malfunction or you had a seizure. Explain your line of thought. I need to know what were you thinking, and I might agree with you, but for you to do what you was doing, it seemed like I have no idea, unless you was trying to, like, I'm going to stomp him. I don't know what the strategy was.
I think from what I heard, I don't know if this came from him. I know for a fact Matt said this, but it was just, and I didn't like this, not excuse, but I didn't like that they were saying, this is what we've been doing all year, and we weren't going to become conservative at this time. But I'm like, bro,
the game is over,
bro. The game is over. It's the Super Bowl.
Last game of the year, guys.
It's for this.
Right. It's not like we're still like it's for this. This is what you did all of this for. Like
this is what you did all of it for.
Forget the identity, bro. Win the game.
Just go win the game. And for the state, man, we waited so. I'm gonna change the subject because I'm about to punch my laptop. Because we waited so long. He don't understand because he wasn't invested only 2 years. Man, people been waiting on this their life. Their life. It's people in their 60s and their 50s, and you cost us that. And then you just got on your plane and got a real good paycheck and a whole nother team. And I see him, I swear I was fender bender. I was fender bender.
And I know DQ is going to be loyal to his guys, and he's not. But man, you got the headset on, man. Like you're hearing this come through.
That was another thing.
Even Matt Ryan, audible.
Even Matt.
Okay,
somebody,
say this. I want to say this because I've had this talk with so many people, so many Falcons fans. Right? I understand Kyle Shanahan's offense he wanted total control, so he didn't want anything to change. He wanted what I want that to be ran on the field to keep how this game plan is going to go.
Yeah.
But just going back to the fact that this is it, like Matt Ryan or DQ, you got to veto that. I'm sorry. Peyton Manning is not letting that happen.
Nope.
Tom Brady is not letting that ride.
I don't care what you just said.
You know what I mean? So it's just like, man, it could have gone so different.
I mean, I think, and if Matt has a fault, that's it. Is maybe he's a little bit too loyal because because he would never. I mean, and we saw it his entire career. Not once he ever throw a teamate under the bus. Did he ever throw a coach under the bus? Yep. I mean, he just is the company man, through and through. So but yeah, I mean, DQ man, like that. This is your team. This is you see what's going on in front of you, right? I mean, like you're on the field. Mike's up in the box, or Kyle's up in the box. Like, I mean, you got to feel it, man. You got to understand and see. This is, like you said, this is a game. Like this is it. So,
because even if you don't want to ruffle any feathers, what's the worst that's going to happen? He's about to get on a flight and go to his new job anyway.
Yeah. He's going to somewhere totally different.
If you freaking sack up and stop the call and say, no, we're not doing that. We're doing this. Man, you're a hero. Like you're not a hero. You're not buying a beer in Atlanta ever again.
No,
I'm telling you.
So I mean, that I don't know. I just
and Matt would be solidified, man. That's the thing you don't have.
Look what happened. We start talking about this and then just
see.
I mean, we can't do it.
It gets bad.
Yeah. So all right. So we'll get off of that. So some cool news, man. This guy obviously around well before any of us was Tommy Nobis, who all I've heard about, like my dad used to talk about Tommy Nobis all the time about he was the original draft pick of the Falcons, middle linebacker, should be in the Hall of Fame from everything I've heard about him play. I mean, he's just a like you had guys like, in the league that were saying like, he played around the same time that Deacon Jones played, and they were saying outside of Deacon Jones, like he was the nastiest dude. Like he's the guy you didn't want to see coming to the middle. And like he had a couple of all pros, and it's like, he just it looks like he's finally going to get his due. Well, we don't know if he's going to get in the Hall of Fame or not, but at least it's going to come up at least for an opportunity, because he said that basically his nickname is Mr. Falcon. I don't know if you knew that or not.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
So he's up with for the vote.
Yeah. So basically, so it says, and this was, I was just reading this on, I think it was a Falcoholic actually, that had it. But yeah, the Falcons semifinalist, and it's basically, they announced, like the Pro Football Hall of Fame announces their list of senior coaches and coordinator and players, semifinalists, like guys that have probably passed on, but that they've come back around for a vote. So there's 54 men and women that had that impact on the NFL, and then he was one of them. So, and then Billy White Shoes Johnson was another one for the Falcons. And basically, they kind of got screwed because of playing on a bad team. I mean, it's like everybody, like my dad always said, he's like, man, if he played on, you name it, the Jets or the Giants, he played in a big market, he's already in the Hall.
Yeah, I get
it. He was that good, So, but anyway, just a little bit of positive news.
That's awesome, though. Anytime a Falcon is up for the Hall of Fame, I'm ecstatic about it. I love it.
Yeah, man, exactly. So, and then we did like a little Twitter thing about just asking about which players you're most interested in watching this upcoming season. I think for the most part, everybody really excited to see Drake. London was a popular choice. A few people was Troy Anderson.
Troy.
Oh wow, yeah,
and because they really
what I want to see.
Yeah, and
really okay, cool.
And he got a few mentions, and then Ep.43 got a few mentions, which by the way, he just signed his rookie deal. So he's on the books, so he's good. And I don't want to be too optimistic, Fleek, but man, I think we might have hit on a pass rusher for the first time in a long time.
I think so too, because Arnold Ep.43 can win in so many different ways. Yeah. That's why I like him, because and before I even watched any film on him, before I even turned on the highlights, I watched an interview of him. And I always do this. Like, if you go on YouTube and type in like whatever prospect name in an interview, chances are they had like a preseason interview before their last college season or whatever. And he talked about how he sets up his pass rush moves throughout the game. So he talked about how he could be doing something in the first quarter that sets you up for a move or a counter in the third quarter, and you wouldn't see it coming. And just the thought of that, the thought of somebody using technique, not just, oh, I'm faster than you or I'm stronger than you. If I can outsmart you, you can't, you never lose your mind. That's the thing. You will never lose that. So if he can translate that to the NFL, I think we might have hit on a pass rusher for the first time in a long time too. And I'm excited to see it.
I'm excited to see him.
Yeah, and one thing I like, and I do the same thing as you, man. Like, I want to see the interviews, and I want to see, like, because you can tell like their mentality through an interview, right? A lot of times you can, and that's what drove me nuts. And then Mike's gonna laugh, but like that's what drove me nuts about Vic, is you never saw like that, like, I'm going to like eat your children freaking like mentality. Like that's what you want from your defensive lineman, then your edge rushers, especially. Like, you're going to be going against some nasty right tackles, like you're all the time. So like you
can't be a sweetheart.
Right. Yeah. And that's what, and Vic, all he had was speed, like he could never convert that power. It was just bam. And he was stoned. I mean, like, it was, if he got a spin move that worked, then great. But I mean, if he didn't, then he just spin into the guy and he would stop. So I mean, like,
hey, Fleek, I'm sure you can tell, but John hate Vic. Like, whenever we bring him up on the show, John just go off on the time. He hate. That's John, like, pet peeve. Him and Dan Quinn, you can't mention on the show. Like,
I remember that.
John really disliked them two dudes, man.
Yeah,
Vic got to me too. I'm not gonna lie. Vic got to me a lot because of the lack of. It felt like when I watched him, it didn't feel like he tried hard enough. His motor was very small.
It reminded me of Dion this last season, man.
Yes,
it reminded me of just.
Good
that's a great point.
Just like you didn't see the desire to even, like, he really enjoyed his playing football anymore. Like, I just I think that just kind of fell off for some reason, but I don't know, man. But but looking through some of the responses, like Damsky said he was looking forward to Drake, and then looking forward to Richie Grant on defense, which I am too, man. I think I've been high on that dude. I hope he comes through. Me too. He was so good in college, and you saw, like, you see the potential he had. Like, he can be one of those game changing safeties if he puts it all together up top. So
he has great range too.
Does and I think, I mean, the
second year in the system, I'm telling you, watch what he do
for sure. And then we had like Big Dog _357. He said Kyle Pitts and D'Angelo Malone. And we talked about D'Angelo, I think, with pound for pound, like, it could be a sleeper, man, like a late round sleeper for sure. There. So I mean, and then one time for the fan, shout out to those guys, Drake London and Zoe Carter. I'm interested to see Zoe too, man. I want to see if he's got what he had at the end of last season, then then great.
And he cooking.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, that's pretty much Jalen. Well, you said Fleek, you said Drake, Jalen Hawkins and Drake London, and I think Jalen. I think
the reason this is why I like Jalen Hawkins, because when we took him out of Cal coming out, he had a lot to work on, and I don't know if you remember this specific game 2 seasons ago against the Packers. He got beat a lot. Robert Tonyan ate his lunch a lot that game, but he was already a player I wanted to watch. But the fact that they gave him chance after chance showed me that it's something about Jalen Hawkins that they liked. And I think we saw some of that last season.
Yeah.
Because he seems to be a playmaker. And Richie Grant caused a few fumbles himself. Jalen Hawkins caught, I think, 2 or 3 interceptions. So I'm really excited to watch the entire secondary, because if our safety group can take a step forward with Casey Hayward on the other side of AJ, it's so much potential.
Yeah, and looking at the improvement, the defensive line is going to look so different. It's going to be, and that can only help that secondary even more.
Yep,
exactly.
If we actually, linebackers,
if we're actually getting to the quarterback,
you get Troy Anderson and you get Dion back, kind of. I'm telling you.
Yeah, I'm kind of with pound for pound though. I think he'll be traded.
I think he probably would be traded or cut too. I think Rashaan Evans is going to be pretty good at.
Me too, dude.
And Mike, yeah.
That's maybe a little bit my Alabama bias there, but I think he's going to be good.
Also, that could be a little bit my Alabama bias too. I'm not gonna lie, but I'm interested to see Mykal Walker this year too, because it's his third year, and with Dion playing the way he played, if he is shoved out the way or whatever, this is Mykal's year to like break out. To me, I think this is his chance to really solidify his spot as a starting linebacker on the team, and I think the coverage skills that he showed in spots was really good. I just want to see him take that step forward as far as hitting gaps and stuff like that and run fits. Rashaan Evans is going to do that though. Rashaan Evans is going to take on anybody.
For sure. Yeah.
So I'm interested.
Yeah, I think that's your 2 starting linebackers.
I think so too.
Fleek really loved the Falcons, man. That's why I love talking to him, because I could tell he really loved the Falcons. He loved the Falcons like I love the Falcons.
I can talk about the Falcons all day.
Yeah, I love it.
Man, yeah, our buddy Ski, he said Kyle Pitts and AJ Terrell, which you can't argue with that. And then he said
cornerstones.
And he said I also want to see as much of AK and Troy Anderson. So yeah, Troy. I think Troy is he's going to be the kind of. I'm telling you. Yeah, well, he's going to be.
He's like the wild card.
Troy
right?
was the wild card.
That's
Troy
what I was looking for.
3 things really well. That's a jack of all trades. I cannot wait to see Troy Anderson.
Yeah,
I'm excited.
Oh yeah, and Black Buzz Lightyear said it's a great name.
Hey, that's hilarious.
That's my guy.
Hey, that's hilarious, just right there.
He said offensive Brian Edwards, which I love that Brian Edwards man.
Yeah.
And then defense is Bichetti. So yeah,
okay.
So kind of a little all over the board, but
that was all over the board.
It was, but doesn't that excite y'all though?
That's what I'm saying.
Man, I'm excited. So much young talent, so much potential. Like I feel like we're finally having a chance to move forward ever since that in that Super Bowl or whatever. Yeah. I feel like we're finally not dragging anymore. I feel like we're moving, like we're taking it to a different arc now. And
Matty was my whole thing, but after he left, I say burn it down. And that's like the feeling. They burned it down. Now we got new energy. And I'm sad he gone, but I am excited. I'm right with you.
Yeah, man. And on that defensive line, we, Mike, since our last show, we signed Eddie Goldman of the Bears, who is like the, 30th Bear we've signed.
Yeah, he really took their whole team.
For real.
But it literally is like 7 or 8, 9, something like that. But so dude, I thought that was a great signing because, we've got, Rush is going to be probably there next to Jarrett, but and Vincent Taylor. But how different does that defensive tackle spot look now that we've got those guys? Grady's never had anybody next to him that's worth a damn.
Never.
And,
no.
And now
he had me.
Yeah.
It was like I was there beside him. It was worth nothing.
But man, yeah. But Eddie's, he was I think he was a first round pick of the Bears back in like 15, 16, something like that.
Okay.
And he was productive as hell for a few years. He kind of fell off a little bit last year. I think the COVID year he wasn't great. But he's 28 years old. He's given another shot. And
did you see the contract details? I think Kenny Grits Blitz on Twitter, that's my guy. He tweeted out the contract details, and I think we signed him for like literally like $1 million for 1 year.
And you can't beat that.
You can't beat that. And like you guys said, that's literally, and it's funny to say, but like it's literally the most accomplished defensive tackle that Grady will play with outside of that one season. When was Grady here when we had Dontari Poe? Was he here?
Yes.
That one season.
Was he?
I don't even know.
Because he was here in the Super Bowl year, right?
His rookie season was the Super Bowl.
And we had
season.
he was.
So he was here, yeah.
He was here.
Yeah. Other than that, he's never had Mike just told you he was starting next to Grady.
Yeah, it was me.
Yeah.
And so he never had. So I'm at all the levels. I'm excited about the defensive line. I'm super excited about the linebackers, the cornerbacks, and the safeties.
Me too.
If it jail, man, it's gonna be. We always suck at defense. I'm excited. And
I actually think for the first time in a long time, the defense will be better than the offense.
That very well could be true.
Yeah.
I think we can see that.
Yeah, we talked about that one with the pound for pound too. I mean, and so it was funny. Now we've talked about how excited we are, right, and how positive we are. Now I got something for you now. Yeah. Mike, have you seen what Caesar's Palace projects our win total to be?
No, I don't. Come on, man.
Have you, Fleek?
Is it 5?
It's 5.
Yeah, I saw that.
5 games. 5. And 5. Mike, CBS ranked the rosters. Guess where they gave us?
What?
Now that 32. Was insane. That's crazy.
No, you joking or you serious?
No, I'm serious.
No. That was a real thing.
That was a real thing. They gave us the worst roster in the NFL, which I can't figure out to save my life.
They had us under Houston.
I'm not even, and this is not even my Falconism talking. I'm just looking at it as
Super Bowl Mariota MVP.
See, no, it's not that part of me talking. It's the just looking at it as just look at it. Just look.
How is the roster? No way.
Yeah.
No.
I mean, just from a team perspective, man. Look at our receiving core. Where we went from last year to this year. Cordell doesn't have to be the man this year.
That's what I'm saying.
Right.
Kyle doesn't have to be the man this year. I mean, we got running backs now.
We got 2 good ones.
I mean,
yes.
2 great ones, really. Come on, man.
The guy I'm looking forward to is Algier. That's
me too. Man, I'm so glad you brought him up.
Dude, because when we did the scouting for some of the positions, going into the draft, he was the one that stood out to me the most on the running backs and watching all the film on him because everything about him, he wasn't not originally a running back. He was originally a middle linebacker. He didn't even he was a walk-on. He had to earn his spot, and then they converted him to running back. And then all he did was basically become all of BYU's offense. Mm-hmm. And I mean, this dude runs very angry, but he doesn't run like Devonta ran angry, but Devonta ran recklessly.
Yeah. And he was little.
Yeah. Tyler doesn't run that way. Watching him, he'll run over your ass, but he seems to have an idea, a plan, basically,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my favorite quality about him from what I've seen is his vision. And I think him playing linebacker helped him a lot with that because 100%. It's almost like he can predict the way gaps would open. Mm-hmm. And even when things go wrong, he's pretty good at dancing behind the line of scrimmage and hitting the hole. And when he hits the hole, he has great acceleration for maybe not the fastest guy in the world, but his acceleration is really good.
Yeah,
it's really good.
Yeah, and he has enough speed that he can run. He can break away. If he gets to that second level, he can get through there. Mm-hmm. He may not outrun some of the fastest corners in the league or anything, but he's gonna. I mean, I watched I think it was the Virginia tape. If you haven't watched that one, just go look at Tyler Algier against Virginia, and it was pretty impressive to watch some of the stuff he did in that. So I mean,
is that the game where they said they handed the ball off to him 7 times at the end to finish it out?
Might have been, yeah.
That's the type of thing as a Falcons fan that I value because I haven't seen anything like that since Michael Turner.
Young Michael Turner.
Young Michael Turner, and we talk about how we've given up leads before. I mean, that's how you give up a lead. That's how you lose games when you can't run the ball at the end of the game.
Yep, and he talked about it, and Tyler talked about it, how he feels like he's one of those backs that he can't wait to the fourth quarter because he knows the defense is tired, and he's coming at him, and that's what you want your freaking running back to be.
Marion Barber.
So
yeah,
exactly.
And I think if we really look at this year's draft, I think we're starting to see the type of identity that Terry Fontenot and Arthur Smith are trying to build. Drake London, tough guy.
Yep.
Drake London is like, he's had like moments in college where he's just insane. Like he's just so tough. He's not stepping out of bounds. He's running right at you and he's putting his shoulder down.
Yeah, Mike, have you seen the clip where like his helmet gets ripped off?
Yes.
He's like on the sideline looking crazy.
His face, like that face, perfect. That's what I love it.
Insane.
But then I agree with him because I think he's trying to change the culture, Fleek, because we are known as a soft team.
Finesse. We've always been
always been known. So you need some football playing nasty dudes, and he getting people who can play multiple positions. I'm seeing that. So, and I love you getting tough players. I think it's important, like what John always do, and you said you do, is you pay attention to like interviews, because you can see if he got Kobe in him, or if he got somebody else in him. You know what I'm saying? If he got young Kobe or Sierra. I want Kobe. But you can tell that from how somebody speaks sometimes. So John watches that and you watch it. I'm happy to hear that because you can kind of tell somebody's attitude if they gritty or not. Somebody that want to get after it, somebody who's trying to be a leader, somebody who's trying to who's not buying their own hype. Like, I got a lot of work to do and I'm ready to work. You can kind of tell some stuff from the interview.
That's why I'm a huge Desmond Ridder fan. That's why I'm rooting for him, and I hope it works out because his mindset and his mentality, he just wants to win. And he's so certain. His confidence is like he's not the guy that doesn't say that he doesn't have a lot to work on because he knows he has a lot to work on. But he's gonna go work on it. Confidently, and he's gonna fight to become the best quarterback he can become. And if that guy can become on the field what he is in his mind, that's a killer. That's a killer.
And worst case, like absolute worst case, if he doesn't ever progress to where he's our guy, if you get a quality backup, then you drafted a quality backup in the third round. In the third round.
In the third round. Yep.
So, in the third round, you got it. Yep.
Either way, that's a win. I mean, you get best case scenario, then we found a diamond. But worst case, he's a good backup. All right, cool. Because that's not easy to find either.
Exactly.
I mean, and there's going to be good quarterbacks coming out. I mean, next year I would prefer to have like a Will Anderson personally, but I mean, that's going to be that. Mike, you got to see Will Anderson, by the way.
I was going to say, you slid that in there on a few shows. Now, this got to be the third, fourth show you slid in Will Anderson.
Oh, Will Anderson is elite. He is elite. And I've tweeted out like 10 times. I know people tired of me saying it, but I keep saying the best case scenario is for Ridder to be good because you can get a guy like Will Anderson in that scenario, and you don't have to draft a quarterback in that scenario.
Now, the flip side of that is we will have to go like 2-15. Because Will will be gone in the first couple picks. So I mean,
that's for sure.
So we'll have to have a terrible season. But man, getting back to that win total, I'm laying a bet, I'm taking the over. I'm taking the over.
Me too.
And that might be stupid of me to feel that way, but I just, like I said with Toby and JR, man, I look at what these guys, and say what you will about the coaches, whatever you want to say about them. I look what they did last year with the talent, and with the talent we had. We got 7 wins. We damn near made the playoffs.
Yes.
Granted, yes, Matt Ryan was our quarterback. Say what you will about him. I don't care. But other than quarterback, we've improved literally
everywhere.
I mean, you hope, cross our fingers and toes and arms and everything, that the offensive line takes a step up.
Yeah.
We know what we're going to get from Lindstrom. We know what we're going to get from Matthews. Obviously Mayfield's a huge question mark. We don't know there. We don't know what we're
going to get from him.
We know what we're going to get.
Yeah, we know just what we're going to get from him.
Dude, I'll tell you what, though.
Scrub.
We're going to find out what he's made of first couple of weeks.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, because he's either going to have use this off season to train and get stronger and smarter, or he's just going to get ran over again and he's going to be gone. So
he's gone.
We're gonna know really fast, and they're not going to give him. This not going to be like last year where he's going to say,
"Oh yeah,
he's going to have 2-3 weeks."
Yes.
Tops.
Yeah.
Yeah,
for
and
sure.
There's gonna be a lot shorter leash this year, and probably the same thing from McGarry as well. So I mean,
So I mean,
but anyway, outside of the line, which I know is big, But dude, every skill position is an improvement, every single one. Defensive line, everything's an improvement. The linebackers are improved, the corners are improved, like the safeties hope to take a step up. Like the schedule is what it is. Some of them, it looks tough on paper, but some of those teams have their own issues that they're dealing with. So I just have a hard and dude, Arthur Smith, man, like I was really kind of like vanilla on the hiring when it was first made, because it was like, okay, not really an exciting type of guy, but I like his offense, like type of thing. But dude, like his mentality, he's got that like kind of kick you in the ass mentality too. Like he's got it may be kind of like subdued, to the media, but like you can tell like, he's got it. And Dean Pease does. So I mean, like, I don't know. I just feel like we're going to be north of that 5-win total.
Yeah. Man, I'm like I joke and say undefeated on every show. But I'm gonna say, I'm gonna be honest. Even I'm gonna get dragged for this, but I say 10. I say double that, because I just look at I look at, man, you have to understand the benefit of the second year in any system for people mentally. You get to play unconsciously. Yeah, you don't have to. When you learning something, you gotta think. That slow you up. And you got to gel the second year, the third year, you cannot discount that. And I'm not saying, I might be totally wrong with 10, but I'm always go 5 is bullshit. And to say we got the worst roster, that we'll see. I ain't even gonna talk no shit. We will see if that's the instance. There's no way. And that's with the quarterback we got. So, and there's no way you doing that to us. And we're gonna kick a few people ass that don't expect it. I guarantee you, we're gonna kick somebody's ass.
Yeah, that's crazy. And Kyle Pitts mentioned what you just mentioned too, Mike. Just getting better in the system and being able to play fast. Because last year, like you said, when you're learning, you have to slow poke it sometimes, because you're moving through it. But once you know it and it's second nature to you, or you just moving off an instinct at that point. Imagine Kyle Pitts playing faster.
That's what I'm saying.
Crazy.
And look, regardless of the offensive line. You got Mariota, who doesn't have to be great, just be good enough. Just be good enough. Because you've got Drake London, Brian Edwards, okay, 6'5", 6'3", 6'6", Kyle Pitts.
Yep.
Like, dude, what if you're a corner or a safety, you're looking at this like, what the hell am I doing with, like, because the football, and like a lot of game of inches, man. Like Mariota can just toss it up there and like. One of our guys can go get it, man. I mean, I know it's not that easy, but I mean, it just we've got length all over the field. I mean, Zacchaeus being our shortest probably receiver, like that's going to make the squad at least, probably at 6 foot. I mean, so I mean, I don't know. I just I know.
I'm trying to think of like my win total. I'm trying to think, because usually what I do is I do a floor and a ceiling just to not put an exact number on it. But I think
pick a number. No, you got to pick a number. John say.
Well, that's going to change. That's going to change. I think after the preseason, we're going to see other teams. We're going to see, you know what I mean?
John, if you have to say now, I'm not now. Scratch their 5. I'm saying 10. Now you say what, John? You say right now today.
7.
7.
That's what I say. 7. That's what I said. 7. Because worst case scenario, I said 4, but that's worse. Like that's if things go bad. Like, but I could see this team winning 7 or 8 games, because I think the team is better than people are giving us credit for.
I do too.
And on paper, it's easy to see a name and say like, oh man, the Browns, like, okay, the Rams, oh my gosh. But football is still football. Anything can happen. And second year in the system, it's a lot of things that people aren't really incorporating into their thought process when they're talking about the Falcons, because they just expect us to be bad because Matt is gone. Who's there? Marcus Mariota and the third round quarterback. Okay, whatever. They're the worst team in the league. That it seems like that's what the national media is doing to us right now. But I like that, because I feel like we always are better when we're the underdog.
Same here. I'd say I like that too.
Yeah. Me too. All right, guys. So if y'all don't have anything to add to any more Falcons talk, we can move on.
I got one more thing. Fleek, I gotta ask you about this. Now you say, all right, now you say on Twitter you had some hot wings. It's 2. I got 2 wing questions for you. You say you had some hot wings that was like the hottest you ever had. I need to hear that story and where you got them from. But then you also said you was done with Wingstop because you went to Wingstop and you had a bad experience. So just for everybody that love wings, you gotta love wings if you watch football. Fleek, tell us about the hot sauce you had, the hot wings, and why you don't want to food with Wingstop no more.
All right, so last night I had some hot wings that opened up my pores. Crazy. Okay. I was 2 wings in. I felt every pore on my body open up. Sheesh. And I actually got those from a place called Touchdown Wings.
Wings.
Usually what I do is I get mild with lemon pepper sprinkles. But if I'm feeling spicy, I'll say, no, let me get the hot with the lemon pepper sprinkles, And I get some ranch so I can kind of subdue the spiciness.
Okay.
But the batch last night was crazy. I don't know. Like, I had my shirt off and everything. I'm sweating, all type of stuff, bro. I'm like, okay. I got to tweet about these wings because these are like the hottest wings I ever had.
Okay. But, Touchdown Wings.
Touchdown Wings. Check them out. They got some really good wings. But yeah, as you said, Mike, the night before that, I went to Wingstop, 15-piece wings. I got 5 lemon pepper, 10 mild. And I don't know what happened. I go to the same Wingstop every time. And the night before last, I don't know what happened, Mike. That was the worst batch of wings I ever had.
But why was it wet? Was it dry? Was it not cooked? Why are you saying
it was dry and it was like burnt. It was like, how when chicken is burnt, the meat is hard?
Yeah.
It was like...
It's flaky if it's burnt.
It was flaky.
Yeah.
It was flaky and burnt. And it was just such a bad experience that my favorite food is hot wings. Like, that's my favorite thing. Wings.
We can see by like the multiple days in a row you eating chicken wings. You did
my dad every day my dad asks me what you eating. I'm either cooking chicken or buying chicken.
Yeah.
And he always tell me I'm gonna turn into a chicken and fly away, even though chickens don't fly. But yeah, it almost literally turned me off from wings. And so that's why yesterday I was like, nah, I gotta go to a different place. I gotta reinvigorate my love for wings. And even though it was the spiciest batch I done had from Touchdown, it did that. It did just that. It was so good, man. Like, I want wings again right now.
Yeah, I do too. Damn.
Yeah, he making me. I'm gonna tell you who got some good wings is Hooters smoked wings.
Really smoked wings. Smoked wings. I've never had Hooters. Now I keep telling myself I'm gonna go try their wings.
And it's the big wing. It ain't the small little American deli.
American deli wings. I knew you was gonna say American.
It ain't them little American deli.
Hey, Fleek, wings. You're not that far from me, dude. I'm in Ackworth. So
really?
If you one day you got to come up to Kennesaw, we'll go over to the Nest Barbecue, and they do smoked wings. Those damn things talking about. They are
smoked wings are amazing.
You get.
I gotta try this.
No, you get about.
I gotta try this. We're gonna get together and do that.
Yeah. No, we're doing that. Yeah, because it's basically they bought like 2 old houses and put them together, and they have like a deck in the middle of it, so it's outdoors. They got 2 or 3 big smokers out front. Like, it's legit. Yeah,
that is awesome. I would say my favorite wing place though is Buffalo Wild Wings.
Okay, Buffalo Wild.
That's my favorite. Yeah. But you know what? That could be just like, because my first time having Buffalo Wild Wings was like 2 months ago, so that could just be a new thing. Yeah,
you gotta wait a little while before you get
So next time I come on here, I have an updated list. My top.
Let me tell you, that's like Odell Beckham. He made that one catch. Everybody was like,
my God. That was my. That's when I started dyeing my hair. I had my hair out.
He influenced us all. I started dancing in the house, doing all sorts of goofy shit. I love Odell, but we kind of took it too far.
I was definitely saying Odell was like the next one.
We all thought that.
Yeah, Mike started dancing after he made a good meal. He was like, man.
Yeah, see what I'm saying?
Best meal I ever made.
Exactly.
Started dancing.
Started whipping and nay.
Right.
Oh, man. Yeah, so, man, also, before we go on to underrated, overrated, Fleek, I saw, did you finish Stranger Things yet?
Yes, I did.
Dude.
Did you see it, Mike?
I haven't seen the last season yet. I
just had to ask because I'm not going to say nothing crazy, but my goodness, the production.
Everybody is saying this,
dude.
Oh my goodness, Mike, you are in for. I'm actually gonna watch it again because I did the one thing you don't do, and I watched it without my girlfriend. But I'm gonna watch it again with her. But the pacing was so incredibly good, and I was worried about that because of how the situation left off and how everybody was in different towns. How are they gonna make sure everybody gets their screen time? How is everybody gonna get their shine? And somehow they did it. The Duffer Brothers are really like that.
All right, Fleek and John, I'm gonna make a bold statement, and you tell me if you are willing to make that statement. Is Stranger Things the greatest thing that has ever been on Netflix?
Oh, I tweeted that already.
Damn, both of y'all said it at the same time. Yes.
So it's the greatest thing Netflix has ever done. Yeah, for sure.
Oh man. Okay.
This is gonna be, and it already is an iconic show because just the way everything happened. And it was such a great idea to have them as kids because we see them grow and now they're teenagers. It's just so amazing. This is something that people are gonna go back to for years, for decades. Like it's one of those. It's like one of the greatest shows I've ever seen.
And they tape it here for the most part, so that's kind of cool.
It's dude. They actually the Copper's cabin is a half mile from Amanda's mom's house.
Oh, that's awesome. Bro.
Yeah, it's like it's in awesome. Dude. It's in Powder Springs. You can actually go there and do. Yeah,
really?
It's in Powder Springs. You can go there and do an escape room in Hopper's cabin.
I didn't know man.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, John. I gotta start hanging out with you.
Yeah.
You know
yeah,
John has never missed. I gotta say this, Fleek. John, whatever John recommend is law. God, John has never missed. Not one time, and since I know him, I know John a very long time. Never missed on a food, a show, nothing. He's never missed.
That's crazy.
Yeah, never, not once.
But dude, Mike, it does sets up the last season perfectly though.
Yeah.
Like,
okay.
It's gonna be crazy.
So it's just one more.
Yep.
Oh yeah, after that, Stranger Things 5 is the last iteration.
It's the last one. Okay, yeah.
Yep.
Oh, and on our last show, Mike, I remember I said Yellowstone as far as like being possibly overrated because I heard so many great things about Yellowstone.
You did,
Well, we finished it. So that dude, I take that back. That was an amazing show. That was an amazing show.
Really? I gotta watch it.
Perfect segue to underrated, overrated.
Yeah, all right. And then we went and watched 1883, which was the prequel to Yellowstone. So 1883 is on Paramount Plus, and it's what's crazy is Tim McGraw and Faith Hill are like the stars of the show. And other than this their daughter, the girl that plays their daughter is like actually the star, but like, and I'm not a country music fan, so and nor did I was like, okay, but dude, like ridiculously good they could have been actors. They didn't have to even do singing. Like they could have been legit actors. Like it was that good, man. And I'm not going to spoil anything, but that last episode of 1883, and if y'all listening, if y'all haven't watched it or you're watching it, go ahead. I'm gonna give you 5 seconds to turn away or listen or something. But dude, Amanda spent 15 minutes crying in the kitchen watching the last 50. It was tragic.
Yeah. Oh shit.
Like that last episode. Like I mean, I was tearing up, man. Like it was just man, like I know we don't like watch, like I didn't know it was gonna end like that.
Yeah.
Like, you know, it kind of had I had an idea it was gonna be not awesome, but yeah, I didn't expect that come. But Yellowstone, man, though, like Kevin Costner and like it's legit. Yeah,
and you trashed it, buddy. You trashed.
I didn't trash it that bad. I was like, you know, maybe this. I was only like half a season in. I'm like, I don't know. This is kind of slow, but no, it picked up. Like, it really picked up. So it was
okay. I gotta watch that.
Yeah, it's like
just setting it up, basically.
Yeah, Fleek. It's like Sopranos set in like Montana. It's
like that sounds.
It's like Sopranos, like cowboy style. Like it's a different. Yeah, it's really cool. But anyway, underrated, overrated. Let's do it.
Okay, underrated, overrated. I want to kick it off today. I'm gonna kick it off. I'm gonna do mine. The first one I'm gonna do is gonna be overrated. I would do this in like honor of my dad. Is the main thing my dad told me, if I could pick one thing, it was don't value material items. So ever since now, I grew up poor, but even despite that, he was telling me like, you don't need a fancy car. You don't have to have like a model girlfriend. You don't have to wear jewelry. You don't have to have polo and Michael Jordan shoes. And he taught me to respect people regardless of if they had that stuff and to not value that on my own. I want to tell y'all that because of how you may raise your children, because man, I'm a stress-free person, and a big part of that is because of that. Because I'm not worrying about constantly, what I got on and how it's going to look to somebody, and if I look rich or if I don't look like I'm doing too well. I don't give a fuck what you think about me. I'm aware, I get most of my clothes from Burlington Coat Factory. If I like the shirt, I buy the shirt. but it's so much of a burden from an adult to not have a closet that's $20,000 and be in debt, or be in how most people are. It's ridiculous what your closet look like, or you spend all this money to show off. You really value that shit. So if you was ever doing bad and you didn't have it, is your whole self-esteem dipped? You know what I mean? You got to be you regardless of your material items. And I swear to y'all, the coolest people are the people that don't have a whole lot of shit. So that's underrated. It's not being non-materialistic. I got that from my dad. I love my dad, but that was the main thing he taught me, is don't give a fuck about what somebody's car or the brand of their clothing or their logo. Who cares? This clothing. He taught me it was girl stuff to care, that much about how you might as well have on a dress. And I'm not saying that's right, but that was if you care that much about what you wearing, you might as well put on some rouge and some lipstick and some hair.
Yeah.
All right. So that's my underrated. I'm gonna do, no, that's overrated. So my underrated, I'm gonna do this in honor of my man Fleek below. All right. So I went on Fleek's Twitter, and the one great thing about Fleek is Fleek he has a life. All right. So it don't matter what he's experiencing in life, is go through wild shit like the wing story. Okay. His attitude is always, when I say always positive, approaching everything with a positive attitude is underrated. So I just got stuck in like bubble fuck for my car broke down, and I can pout about that and get mad, and it would have been like an even shittier time. I could just say, I'm spending the night. Let's see what they got to eat around here. Let's have a drink. Let's do, and let's, man, watch some TV in the hotel room. Let's do that. Let's always approach it with a positive attitude. But I saw Fleek, and it was all of his energy was positive. And like all of the things he does with us is positive encouragement. And like, even when he speaks on like a serious topic, it ain't to just so he vent and just trash. It's a positive approach to the serious topic. And y'all don't know what that does to like a person's peace in their inner self, and just it affects everyone else. Like he make us feel good when he encourage us, and like all that. It's just a good, man. You can feel energy when somebody. I'm gonna tell y'all this, and I mean this from wholeheartedly, speaking from the heart. I don't even choose the guests. John chooses all our guests, and I trust John with my life. So I trust John's. He hasn't missed yet, and if you can listen to this, he hasn't missed yet. I trust my man. John is such a good person. I know he won't have somebody on the show who's a fucked up person. I know if John brought you on, I know you a good-hearted person. I know you got to be the shit, because I know my brother's the shit. So you got to be the shit, because if he picked you to come on. But Fleek, I go over and check a little bit. I got to verify. So I go on Fleek's, and Fleek is really a cool fucking dude, man. Just a really positive person all the time. So underrated is just being a positive, cool person. But I gotta give shouts out to you, my man Fleek.
Thank you, Mike. That means a lot, because I really, because to me, being positive is a conscious decision, because my human instinct is to be negative. It seems like the human instinct is always to look at the negativity. But to me, it's about stepping back and, like you said, assess the situation. And one thing that my dad, funny enough, tells me is the only thing you do by worrying is stress yourself out. And that's not good for your health. It's not good for your health, and it's not going to change the outcome. So the best thing you can do is have your mindset be your savior. And if you're angry, you're going to have a bad day. You're going to have a bad night. But if you can find some positivity in everything, you'll have a better life. Yeah. I'm glad you noticed that. I appreciate that.
Because I'm going to tell you, everything I do is my mind. I really have in control of my mind. So I always try to be in control of what I'm thinking. And that takes, it's like the Kobe thing. You have to concentrate to do that sometimes, because it, like you said, it just go to negative. It'll keep going, and you got to keep pulling it back, and you got to keep being silly and being childish and having fun and keep pulling it back. And like we all are like that. Like, man, John and his wife are the coolest white people you ever seen in your life. Like the chillest white people you ever, like, because they chill, like they're always positive and chill. But but you can feel that if I'm stressed out, but it helps. It helps everybody when you do that. If you, it doesn't help to be negative. It never is no benefit to it. And you can say, I'm just being real. I'm just telling the truth. But in truth, it's no benefit to it. It makes everybody feel better when you're being positive about any situation. And Fleek does that in every situation about his life. Fleek don't just encourage us. He encouraged so many other people who do different things. Fleek does music. You got to go check out his new song called Wicked. It was dope. I did play that earlier.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Whoa. I appreciate
so you got to go play that. You got to give your, and Fleek needs 77 more followers to get 1,000 on Twitter. So we got to do that too. So you got to drop your Twitter and you got to go check his new song out called Wicked, because it was dope. But further than that, I just wanted to say that I did notice that you was positive with everybody and the positive about every situation. Like, it's even hard for me to do that. So I give props to you, buddy.
Man, I appreciate that, Mike.
Yeah, man, it spreads, like you said, Mike. I mean, it's, if you
see how cool he's sitting in this chair right now. Just look at John sitting in the chair. You see what I'm saying? It's rubbing on.
John is mad cool for real.
Yeah.
But no, man, if you're addicted to somebody, like they're gonna probably be addicted to somebody else because you were,
that's
you know what I mean?
saying.
Like it starts. It's a chain reaction, man. It's the same thing being positive and being. So I tell Liam, man, my son, I'm like, dude, you're not gonna be friends with everybody you meet. Like you're not gonna like everybody you meet. But you also have to be rude to some people that you don't like. You just. I mean, like you can still encourage them. I mean, you can still and that's, it's you don't see it a lot now. Like Fleek said, like it's just the natural thing is like nowadays, at least, is to be just negative,
it's
and
negativity.
And you have to concentrate to be
positive. You have to.
It take willpower and concentration to handle things with a positive attitude. So I give anybody props that can do that, because it is a daily back and forth.
Man, because sometimes things come at you out of nowhere all of a sudden, and it's like bam, and that would be that are negative, and you gotta, like, me personally, like I gotta take a step back, take a deep breath, sit there and like, okay, now let me figure how I'm gonna how I'm gonna approach this from am I gonna let it eat me alive, or am I gonna figure out a solution, and move forward? So like that's huge, man. So
and I'll tell you what changed my life into that, because I wasn't always like that. Because especially nowadays, it seems like no one cares about anybody. It's like everyone just cares about themselves, and I think we lack a lot of love in the world nowadays.
100%.
Yeah.
So that's why when I meet people like y'all, it's so refreshing. Like this whole podcast has been so refreshing to me, because out in the world you're around so much negative energy, and it's easy to be positive around people like you, Mike, people like you, John. It's easy. But I'll tell you what changed my mind. So I'm religious. I'm a Christian, right? My mom, she raised me Christian. So when my sister passed away, at her funeral, my mom never changed. My mom was still praising God. She had just lost her only daughter, and she was still praising God. She was still being so nice to everybody, so kind. She still was our everything. She still was our queen in that moment. And I realized, if my mom can do that in that moment, anything that I go through, I don't have to treat other people bad. I don't have to be negative. Anything that happens to me, I could be positive in that situation. And I've been consciously practicing that ever since.
It helps everything. Yeah. And I want to tell this, and I know everybody here is going to think I'm wilding out. I don't know. It actually affects the outcome of your experience. It has a
100%
physical effect on the outcome of your experience. Now go research that as a physical effect on your experience. So
and I'll tell you what, that's a fact though.
It is.
Me myself, as well as family members and friends, I've seen people go through anxiety, and it's totally different than what I thought. When I think of anxiety, I think of just worrying in your mind. But there are physical implications that come with anxiety. Sometimes people literally feel like they can't breathe. They have attacks. They have their heart starts to beat real fast. So when you keep a positive mindset, and when you're able to fight that and break that, there are physical implications to that.
Yes.
Literally.
Yes. I love it. John, say you. Underrated, overrated. Go ahead, buddy.
All right, so yeah, mine's nowhere near as philosophical as that.
There you go.
Yeah. Anyway, all right. So underrated, man, farmers markets.
I swear to God, I've never been to a farmer's market in my life.
Yeah, so we would go to the Marietta Farmers Market a lot, as much as we could, and then but Liam's baseball schedule Saturdays are just screwed. So and that's when they have it a Saturday morning. So we got back into it. Or we try to go whenever he doesn't have a game on Saturdays or whatever. But dude, man, the stuff you find there, man, it's a lot like some local farmers and that are working their ass off, literally. Growing fantastic food. There is local there's like this lady at this one that she brings smoked salmon and smoked what was it, trout, this ridiculous some pasta. Like there's this pasta that this dude comes and make. Like everything is home, it's either homegrown or whatever. It's like it's just people that, it's ridiculous.
It's fresh.
Yeah, it's all fresh. Yeah. But like you can, but in particular the Marietta Farmers Market at the Square, man, it's got like, there's probably 30 to 40, maybe even 50 vendors there. You can walk around and like just like it's awesome, man. Like, and it supports the local businesses. And
is the price higher or the same or lower?
It's probably like Whole Foods type of, you know what I mean? Like it's not terrible, but like if you're getting like organic or like like naturally grown stuff, you're gonna pay a little bit more anyway. But yeah, man, it's a fun, man. Like the Square in particular is it's got the restaurants around there too, so you can make like a morning out of it. You can go there and shop and get whatever. But yeah, it's a cool little and then they have them all around. They have them up here in Acworth, they have them in Kennesaw, they have Marietta, and I'm sure they got them other places. But
I'm gonna check that out.
Yeah, no, it's worth the time. Like I said, farmers markets. Yeah, it's and it seems to be getting a lot more popular because, dude, like we couldn't even find a parking spot last week. Yeah, it's getting crowded as hell. It's definitely, I will say, I think it's more of a millennial thing, like because you do see like a lot more younger folks there for sure.
Yeah,
like, and I still like Mike and I are like the elder millennials. Like we're literally on the edge. We're like, I think the year before us was something else, but we're like the first year of it. So,
oh wow, y'all made it.
Yeah, we're like, we're on the edge. So overrated, man, is, and this is something that Fleek, you may know, you may have watched it growing up, maybe different for you, but ESPN baseball, man, like I don't know what's happened to the broadcast for it, because it used to be like, Mike, I don't know, man, growing up, dude, Sunday Night Baseball on ESPN was like Joe Morgan, and like like that, I look forward to that every week because like those are the two voices I was going to hear, like and it was always like it was a good production. Everything was great, man. I watched Fleek. This is what brought me up. What got me on this was the Braves broadcast, this last one.
Yesterday.
No, not the Mets, but the who were we playing? St. Louis. So it was A-Rod and somebody else on the broadcast, and A-Rod was talking about Max Fried, and he was like, "See, there's a lot of pitchers go out of the stretch these days because it's quicker to the plate or whatever." And they showed Max Warman it was his normal windup, like it wasn't even out of the stretch. It was just his normal. I'm like, dude, that's his windup, like that's not the stretch. And then later on in the game, like, it was kind of a boring broadcast overall, but later on they put they showed Max, after Max came out of the game, to show his stats, whatever, and they put it on Kyle, and they show his face. He's sitting there the whole time. They're talking about, that's like Max Fried, and I'm like, that's not Max.
That's not Max Fried.
And and they go on to whole. They don't stop and like, hey guys, that's just, sorry, we're on the wrong guy. Section. No, they're just like, no, that's Max. We're talking about, and Kyle's just there chilling, And I was like, man, what has happened to this? Like, and A-Rod, he's just, I don't know. I think he's better on like maybe the studio shows than he is calling a game, because like inevitably too, like he'll be talking about something and all of a sudden be like, yeah, when I played, like, and like it's always good. Like there's always a story about like him when he was there. So you're gonna hear about 16 different stories of when A-Rod played during the game. But yeah, I wish it was kind of like, I just had like
more reminiscent during the live.
Yeah, man, I had like the nostalgia come like hit me during the game. I'm like, what is this? This is not ESPN baseball anymore. Mm-hmm. So yeah, anyway.
I will say, I do feel like the ESPN. I kind of feel like all the ESPN live game broadcasts have lost a little bit of its spark.
Yeah.
Something about it. Something about it.
Yeah.
Fleek, underrated, overrated. The moment we've been waiting for, buddy. You got to participate. You come on the show. So you got to pick one of one. You got to pick one of each, and you got to go in.
Okay. Does it have to be deep? Because I have a thing.
No, man.
Okay.
Man, it could be hot dogs if you want to. Like
hot dogs are definitely underrated.
Yeah.
But underrated.
Had them for lunch today, actually. Yeah.
See?
For real? See?
I really did. Yeah.
Underrated. Well, can I say this underrated? Recently, let me think.
Come on with it.
Well, hey, while you're thinking, go ahead.
Underrated. You on Netflix. You is
love
underrated. I love that show.
Yes. Mike got me on that. On that show.
Yes. That right there is second or third to Stranger Things. Stranger Things #1 for Netflix Wall of Fame.
Mm-hmm.
But you is up there. Joe or Will or whatever you want to call him. He be changing his name and doing what he do.
So messed up.
He is insane, but he's smart and he's quick. He's witty. It's so interesting to watch because when you see situations like this stuff happen in real life, of course it's more somber because it's like, oh my God, it's real. But you kind of think, man, what kind of sicko do you have to be to do this stuff? Mm-hmm. And I love this show because it's literally him narrating the show in his mind 90% of the time.
Yep.
So you hear his crazy thoughts before you see him put his thoughts into action. Mm-hmm. And it's just so funny to me. And I don't know. I feel like they have some great characters. I even enjoyed Love Quinn a lot.
I did too.
Like, I think their character building is really good. I think y'all should go watch it if y'all haven't. To the viewers, it's very, very good.
Yes.
I will say that. Overrated.
All right.
Queso Blanco.
Okay.
White queso, bro.
Oh, now you one of the few people that do. All right. Why?
I don't know. I just don't like the taste of it. I'm just so used to regular nacho cheese, good old American nacho cheese. I don't know. Like, I don't know. It's really everywhere now where you go to get nachos, it's white queso. And I'm always disappointed when I order it and it's white queso. And I don't know. I just really been wanting to talk about that because that bothers me. Because one of the only places I can go to get regular nacho cheese is either the movie theater, I buy it myself, or I got to go to Taco Bell, and Taco Bell ain't all that. Yeah. But their nachos come with regular nacho cheese. And that's been bothering me. So I'm glad, see, everything worked out. I got to get that off my chest randomly. And I ain't gotta feel guilty about it anymore.
Yeah. Who has good nachos, John? Like with American cheese? I was gonna say Moe's.
But even that's white America.
It is white. Okay. It is queso. Okay.
Yeah, like it's hard to find.
And Chipotle is white queso.
Yeah,
you can come to one of Liam's baseball games. They sell that regular nacho cheese there.
Yeah, they said it. Okay.
Hey, that's some of the best nacho cheese you'll ever find though. From a concession stand.
Yeah,
that's some of the best nacho cheese ever. But
I would agree.
Yeah, so if y'all ever want to send me some nachos, just make sure it ain't white queso. So
nachos, no white queso, or some wings.
Preferably mild this time. I'm gonna take a break from the hot.
You gotta dial it back.
Yeah.
All right. I'm with it.
You need to you have to be dialing up the freaking antacids if you keep pulling up those hots. Yeah,
I can't.
Some late nights. Yeah. So, well, boys, I think we'll end it there, man. Fleek, couldn't thank you enough, man, for coming on the show, dude. It's been awesome having you on here. I think we've been talking for like damn near 2 hours, but hey.
Yeah. Hey, I could go 2 more, man. I appreciate y'all having me on. And don't let this be my only time, especially during the season.
We gotta have you during the season. We will have you during the season.
I am here. Anytime, anytime y'all got a slot open and y'all want to invite me, don't hesitate because I'll be
on. Hey, Fleek, drop your Twitter again. Fleek needs 77 more followers. He'd be at 1,000. Drop your Twitter real quick.
Yes. So
his name is Ronnie, but you hear me keep saying Fleek because his name on Twitter is Fleek. So Fleek, go ahead. Yeah.
So my @ is @Ron Rico Season. So it's @RonRikoSZN. But my header is always Fleek. I just find different ways to incorporate Fleek into my main phrase. So if you type that in and you see Fleek, that's me. I got an anime cartoon every time. don't know which one it'll be by the time you hear this, but it'll be anime, so you know that's me. Help me get to 1,000, man. I'm 77 away, like my guy Mike said. So yeah, I'd appreciate that.
For sure.
Right. Yeah, man. And I think Mike, we're gonna I think we should make a charge toward 500 before the season starts, because I think so we'll do that. We'll make a little Twitter campaign to get us to at least 500 because we got what, a little over a month. Oh, and by the way, training camp August 6th. Mike, I can be there if you want to be there.
I'm being there. Hold on, man. What day is it on? What is it? It on a weekday or Saturday?
Yeah, Saturday.
Man, I'm there, buddy.
Yeah. All right, I'm there then. I'm there.
Let's link up. I think it's 9:30. I think it starts at 9:30. But you know, so August 6th we'll be there. I'm pretty sure Pound for Pound said they would be there. So if you guys, anybody listening, if y'all see us, come up, say hey, we'll be there. I'm probably gonna have my son there because he's dying to go and check this out. So he's cool. He'll say hey back. But yeah, I mean. I'm surprised he hadn't popped up in here already.
Hey, I swear to God, the whole time we were talking, I was like, he should come in for some. Yeah. I'm surprised you didn't walk in.
Anytime now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. But no, he's probably playing Fortnite or some shit. But guys, we'll be there. So feel free to come out, and Fleek, we'll definitely have you back on, man. Especially as the season gets going, we're going to have plenty to talk about, to say the least. So man, but yeah, like I said, but I warned Fleek, Mike, before I was like, dude, we normally try to go an hour, but a lot of times it goes over, and it
depends on if we having fun or not.
Yeah, so
I'm telling you, yeah.
So I was like,
I was definitely prepared for this.
Yeah, so we had a little overtime, but yeah. So anyway, guys, hope y'all enjoyed the show. We'll be back probably in a week or two. It's kind of we're just kind of counting down the days now, man, until we get to spring training. Jesus, till we get to the preseason started. So just hit us up on Twitter, out of your effing mind. And then, like I said, if you haven't followed us yet, you need to do that. You need to go tell a friend, let them follow us, listen to us on Apple iTunes, on Spotify, subscribe on YouTube. Just help us keep getting out there and getting more views and more listens, man.
These are really good guys, y'all. Hey. For all the people that's watching this for the first time, if you just found John and Mike, 5-star on Apple Podcasts, sub up on YouTube, because I promise you they are some of the top Falcons content creators on the platform.
I appreciate
that, dude. For real.
I much appreciate it, man. Please go, like you said, give us those 5-star reviews. We take all comments. If you want to ask us a question, you can email, follow us on Instagram and Twitter, man. I love you guys. And again, I got to thank you from the bottom of my heart for the birthday wishes and how everybody spoke well and was in support of me when my father passed. Thank you.
Absolutely. All right, guys. Well, Fleek, thanks again, man. And we will be back in a week or two. Or if something just drops that we need to talk about, we'll come on and do a show. Or,
last thing, go watch Sierra's new video. I'm gonna leave it there. Just I'm gonna leave it there. That's was my parting shot.
Oh man, we're out of your Falcon mind, and we will catch you next time.
Peace.
Later, guys.